Hello guys, my name is Tatiana, your science teacher, and today we are going to talk about the types of habitats that we have. We are going to talk about land habitats and water habitats. Let's start giving a definition of what is a habitat. A habitat is the home or the house of many plants, animals, or even microorganisms like a bacteria. So let's clarify that a habitat is the space where animals, plants, and microorganisms interact among them. Our first question is, what are the two types of habitats that we have? Living beings interact in two basic types of ecosystems. The first one is the land habitats and the second is the water habitats. The first, aquatic spaces. Here we have two categories. The first one is the oceans. What are the basic characteristics of an ocean? It has salty waters. Also, they have great amount of water. They are deeper and the extension of those territories are so big. In the oceans we can find animals like sharks, octopuses, we have sea urchins, seahorses, jellyfish, and many other kind of animals. The second is rivers, ponds, lakes that are freshwater. Yes, in these spaces the basic idea is that they have fresh water. The amount of water is not the same than an ocean or a sea, and they have a lot of rocks in the pond of the water. Yes. What kind of animals do we have in rivers, ponds, or lakes? We have, for example, frogs, ducks, we have, let's say, fish, dolphins, and some other different types of animals, or alligators. So those are the two spaces, basic spaces that we have in aquatic habitats. Now let's talk about land habitats. In this case, I want to clarify two basic spaces. Some of those examples of land habitats are the rainforests and the deserts. Let's talk about rainforest. What are the characteristics of a rainforest? We have a place where there are a lot of trees, a lot of amount of vegetation. It rains a lot in those spaces, and also they have a great amount of space. Yes. What is a land habitat? Is a place, it's like a shelter to all the animals that coexist there. Here we have some examples of animals that inhabit in those places. We have owls, macaws, we have, for example, jaguars, bears, and many other kind of animals that can inhabit and be protected there. Yes. Let's talk about our second space. The second space is a desert. What are the characteristics of a desert? Basically, the desert are spaces with high temperatures during the day and cold places in the night. There is not too much rain in those spaces, and they have a lot of sand. Instead of vegetation, they have a lot of sand. What kind of animals can we find in a desert? Let's say, for example, scorpions, snakes, foxes, antelopes, and many other kind of animals like the camel, that is one of the most popular animals there. Let's remember that each animal corresponds to a specific space. Let's say a polar bear cannot live in a desert or in a hot space because they need the cold and the freezing places. Yes, that is one example of why animals need a specific place to live in. Now let's talk about the last part of our class. Why is important to protect the habitats? In here we have two basic consequences of do not protect our habitats. The first one is the habitat loss, when the animals lost a lot of territories for the human activities, different human activities that we are doing the whole days. Why do this affect to the animals? First, because the interaction among them change. Yes, the behavior of the animals also change. The breeding success is not as well as before. So if they lost the habitats that they live in, they have a lot of negative impact and consequences, because the way in which they live and interact every single day will change. Okay. The second is because we are increasing the level of temperature in our Earth, in our planet. Why? Because if we do not have too much trees or vegetation around us, we are losing a lot of oxygen, and remember that waters are produced in the trees. So if we do not have enough water, enough amount of oxygen, we are gonna increase the level of temperature in our places. Yes, so the polar areas are melting because of this, and in the cold places, in the cities like Bogota, for example, that is a cold place, we are losing a lot of temperature, and we are having higher temperatures than before. Yes, so those are basically the two negative consequences of do not be protecting our habitats. So remember that it's pretty important to save our animals and save our planet with daily actions that we can do. Thank you for watching.